I just want to make sure something is very clear to you. You gave birth 3 whole days ago, so you have absolutely no excuse not to come to the funeral. Not only that, you are going to do all of the planning and preparation as well as taking care of both of your kids by yourself. That is all your responsibility. My son was just ripped away from me. I am overcome with grief and agony. You were his wife, so you have no choice but to be strong and do what's required of you. Angie, I understand that you're in pain, but I hope you understand that you're not the only person who is overcome with grief and agony right now. Excuse me? How dare you think that your pain is comparable to my pain? I gave birth to Ryan and now he's gone. I'll never be able to hold him in my arms again. You've only known him for a few years. 10, actually. That's a few compared to how long I've known him. He's been my son far longer than he's been your wife. I told you, Angie, I'm aware that you're in pain. Being a mother myself, I think I can understand how you're feeling right now. But I never even had a chance to recover from giving birth. I am at my limit. And worst of all, my poor daughter Katie was so excited for the birth of her little brother. And now just a few days after she finally gets to meet him, she's lost her father. Her entire world has been turned upside down. I'm her mother, and she needs me by her side during this time, and that's exactly what I plan to do. I have never heard an excuse as pathetic as that one in all my days. You mean to tell me that you can't even give a proper funeral to your husband? I can't imagine how difficult it must have been for Ryan to live with such a terrible wife. It must have been a struggle to make it through every day. All for him to wind up getting killed in a tragic freak random accident. And not only that, he left 2 poor innocent children in the hands of such an unfitting mother. I would say he's turning over in his grave, but you're too lazy and uncaring to give him a proper funeral. You don't need to remind me how tragic and shocking Ryan's accident was. I've been asking myself, why Ryan, over and over again ever since I got the news. To be honest, I am still having a hard time believing that it's true. But I don't have time to think about myself and my own sadness. I have 2 kids to worry about. I need to be as strong as I possibly can for their sakes. Exactly. And that's why you need to do whatever is necessary to ensure Ryan has a proper funeral. Anything else will be a dereliction of duty, both to Ryan and your children. I know, Angie, and I'll do whatever I can. But that's just the problem. I can't do much right now. I still haven't fully recovered from labor. I can't do everything by myself. Oh, don't give me that. It doesn't matter what you think you can or can't do. All that matters is that you do it. How many times do I have to tell you this before you'll understand? You've always been thick-headed. I am well aware of the fact that you've always hated me, but right now you need to understand that I am going to need help with the funeral. I've talked to my sister, and she said that she's willing to do the brunt of the heavy lifting for me. You what? This is the funeral for your husband and my son, and you think you can just leave everything to your sister? Or have you no sense of shame? Your children are watching you, Molly. I thought you said you wanted to put on a strong face for them. You're not going to get away with using giving birth as an excuse for not handling the funeral by yourself. You've already given birth. That job is done, and now you need to do your new job. It's not like you've got some disease. Is this your idea of strength? Is this the idea you want your children to have of you? A pathetic weakling who doesn't even care enough about her husband to take care of his funeral? If you're not going to do this right, then I'll just have to take those kids away from you. I'll raise them myself and give them a proper upbringing. Are you out of your mind, Angie? There's no way that I would ever agree to something like that. Do you know what Katie said to me the day we found out Ryan died? She said not to worry because she's going to help me take care of her little brother. Can you believe that? She is a 7-year-old girl who just lost her father, but she's still thinking about her family. I was so proud of her when she said that. She is a kind, strong little girl, and I am going to do my best to protect both her and my newborn son. So please, don't do or say anything that would come between the 3 of us. Unbelievable! You're talking about me like I'm some kind of malicious interloper. All I'm doing is expressing my concern for you 3, and this is the thanks I get? I know exactly what you're doing, Angie. You're trying to use our tragic situation as an opportunity to take my children away from me. And I'm telling you that it's not going to work, so don't bother. Oh, sure, you can talk tough now, but what's going to happen to you without a breadwinner in the family? Are you actually planning on raising them both by yourself while working full-time? There isn't a company in the world that would hire you for anything. You're an imbecile. The only thing that I can do is work as hard as I can for my kids, and that's what I intend to do. And for the record, I don't view you as a malicious interloper. Quite the contrary, I would greatly appreciate anything that you could do to help us out. Oh, well, isn't that convenient? You're not going to give me my grandchildren, but you expect me to help you? How incredibly selfish. Tell you what, if you want me to help you out, I'll make you a deal. Give me one of the children and I'll do what I can. My children are not objects. I'm not going to barter with them. I've had all that I can take of this conversation. I'm going to lay down and rest now. I have never been more disappointed with a person in my entire life than I am right now. This is your husband's funeral, you idiot. I don't care if you just gave birth a week ago. That is no excuse to pass out in the middle of the service. You're probably just faking it anyway. And then you went and called an ambulance? Oh, shameless, utterly shameless.
You're mean, Grandma. I don't like you.
What? Did you just call me Grandma?
Yeah, I did. And I don't love you anymore. I hate you. I never want to see you again. You're not my grandma anymore. Stay away from me and my family.
Wait a moment. Katie, is that really you?
Yeah, it's me, Katie. My mom's phone kept beeping and it was really loud, so I wanted to turn it off. Then I saw that it was you messaging my mom. I might only be 7, but I can read just fine. I looked at the messages you've been sending my mom. You've been bullying my mom, haven't you? Mom always told me to be nice to you, but I'm not going to be nice to you anymore. I hate you.
Katie, wait, you don't understand. There's a very good reason for the way I was talking to your mommy, okay? You see, mommies have jobs that they're supposed to do, and your mommy wasn't doing her job at all. That's why I got mad at her. I was just telling her that she needs to do what mommies are supposed to do, that's all. Don't you understand? Your mommy fell asleep during your daddy's funeral. Isn't that mean? Imagine how your daddy would feel if he saw your mommy sleeping at his funeral.
You're lying. I know you're lying. She didn't fall asleep. My mom just had my little brother a few days ago, but you made her do a bunch of work. I watched my mom all day today. She's really, really tired. But even though she's tired, she kept smiling and saying she was okay, even though that wasn't true. It's all because she didn't want me to be alone today.
Oh, but Katie, your brother wasn't born today. It was almost a week ago. Even if your little brother was born today, that still wouldn't be an excuse. This is your daddy's funeral, and your mommy was being very lazy. You remember your daddy as my little boy, don't you? It made me very sad to see your mommy being so lazy at my little boy's funeral. And it's good to express our feelings, right? I was just telling your mommy how she made me feel.
I'm 7 years old, Grandma. I'm not 5 anymore. You can stop talking to me like I'm a little baby. I'm not, and you're lying. I saw everything. My mom was tired from working so hard and was heading over to her chair to sit down and rest, but then you stuck your leg out and tripped her. So she didn't fall asleep. She didn't fall down either. You tripped her.
What? Oh, no, dear, that's not true. You must have been seeing things. Your grandma would never do that to your mommy.
Yes, you did. I saw you do it. Then my mom hit her head and got knocked out.
Katie, you have to believe me. You're mistaken. Look, I don't like to talk about your mommy this way, but the truth is that she's not a very nice mommy. She doesn't love you very much.
Stop lying to me! My mom loves me. She's always gonna love me. You're the one who doesn't love me or my mom. And that's why you're always being mean to her. When the ambulance people came in to pick her up, you tried to get them to go away, too. Even though my mom was hurt really bad, you told them my mom didn't need their help. My mom might be hurt really bad because of you, and I am never gonna forgive you.
Katie, please don't talk like that. I was trying to protect you from your mean mommy. I would never do anything mean to you.
My mom is not mean. You are. I don't trust you anymore. I love my mom, and I hate you because you're mean to her.
Katie, let's talk about this, okay? I'm sure you'll come to understand why your grandma did what she did if you just talk to me.
I don't want to talk to you ever again. Leave me alone.
Hey there, Molly. How are you feeling today? Let me know if there's anything at all that I can do for you. If I can't do it for you, then I could talk to my wife and have her head over to your place. I just want you to know we're both really concerned about you and your kids, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Hey, Roger. I really appreciate you and your wife's kindness. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm getting there, little by little. It's crazy, though. I still don't remember much of anything about when I fell. Everything seemed like such a blur. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you about what in the world happened today. I hate to drag you into my family's business like this, but I don't know who else to talk to.
No, you don't need to worry about a thing. Go ahead and drag me into whatever you need to. Ryan was my best friend ever since we were in college, and I owe it to him to do whatever I can to support you. He talked about you a lot, you know. He always said what a wonderful woman you are, how much you care about the kids. He said you were the glue that held the family together. I know the last thing that he ever wanted to do was to leave you like this.
Wow, I had no idea Ryan talked me up to other people like that. Thank you so much for telling me, Roger. That means a lot. I really needed to hear that. It's just, I feel so terrible for Katie. She's the biggest victim in all of this. She was a total daddy's girl. She adored Ryan, and my biggest fear is being unable to fill that hole that Ryan's death left in her heart.
It's totally natural for someone in your position to have self-doubts, especially considering the way your mother-in-law always treated you. But believe me when I say that you don't have a thing to worry about. I know for a fact that Ryan was completely confident in your abilities as a mom.
Wait a second. You knew about me and my mother-in-law? But how? Did Ryan tell you?
No, actually it was your daughter, Katie. She was so concerned about you when you fell down. She was right by your side the whole time, even in the ambulance and the hospital. By the way, about your fall, did you know that your mother-in-law stuck her leg out intentionally to trip you? Katie saw the whole thing, and so did I, so it's a sure thing.
You know, I kinda had a feeling that was the case. But like I said, my memory from that day is so foggy, I don't remember much of anything.
And that's not all. After you fell down, she started shouting, "Don't you dare fall asleep now, you slacker!" Then she got on top of you and started slapping you in the face, trying to wake you up. But you don't remember that either?
Oh my god, I had no idea. Is that how I got this bruise? I thought it was from the fall.
No, that was your mother-in-law. After the dust had settled a bit, Katie came and talked to me. She wanted to know what she could do to save you from your mother-in-law.
Wow, I guess an awful lot was going on while I was out. It was you that called 911 for me, right? I'll bet that Katie figured she could trust you when she saw that. I'm really sorry that you had to deal with all of that.
No, really, I was glad to do it. You don't need to apologize.
Come to think of it, Katie has been telling me that I need to call the police. Do you think that's what she was talking about?
Yeah, I'll bet anything that's what it is. Actually, she was asking the paramedics who showed up if they could arrest someone. Then she asked one of the security guards at the hospital if they could go and arrest her grandmother. It must have been a huge shock for her to see her own mom getting slapped around like that.
Really? She was pretty determined to see Angie in handcuffs.
She said that when somebody does something bad, they have to get arrested. And if her grandma didn't get arrested, that wouldn't be fair. She also seemed afraid that she would do something like that to you again, or worse. I'll never forget the look on her face when she said to me, "I don't want my mom to die, too." You've got one amazing little girl, Molly. She's smart, strong, and caring, and incredibly mature for her age, too. But at the same time, she does still have that certain special, childlike innocence about her. She seems like she's thinking a lot about how she can help protect her family.
She told me right after Ryan died that she was going to help take care of her little brother. I guess she wants to do whatever she can to protect me, too. Well, thank you for telling me all of that, Roger. You were always a good friend to Ryan, and it's incredibly kind of you to keep thinking about us even after he's gone.
I owe a lot to Ryan, so it doesn't matter to me how many years go by. You can always rely on me if you need help. And by the way, there's one other thing I need to tell you. This is something that he had been talking to me about for a while before he died, and since you're his wife, I think you deserve to know everything. Now, I should warn you, this may come as quite a shock. If you're not feeling well right now, I think we should wait until another time to talk about it.
If it's as shocking as you seem to think it is, I think I should hear it as soon as possible. Go ahead, Roger.
All right. This is really hard for me to say, but I have good reason to believe that Ryan's death wasn't an accident.
What? What are you saying, Roger? Well, Molly, are you ready to give up and let me have my grandchildren? You know you can't look after both of them by yourself. Stop delaying the inevitable and do as I say. I was very clear with you about that, Angie. The answer is no. Oh, please, you had to call an ambulance and go to the hospital over a little fall. And you expect me to believe you can handle being a mother? Let's see. Katie seems like she's been thoroughly brainwashed by you. There's not much I could do with her. I'll take your baby son then. There's still hope for him. If you think I would ever give either of my children to you, you're insane. You're a criminal. What? A criminal? Me? Yes, you rotten old hag. I know that you tripped me on purpose. Then you jumped on top of me and started slapping me after I passed out. Katie saw everything, so she knows just what a monster you are. I will be pressing charges, so I hope you're ready to go to jail. I can't believe what I'm seeing. You're actually going to press charges against me? I'm your mother-in-law. We're family, you impudent brat. Not anymore, we're not. I don't want you to ever talk to me or my kids ever again. You must have hit your head pretty hard when you fell because you're delusional. If you cut me off, who are you going to have to rely on? No one, that's who. Shut up, you senile old snake. I still have my mom. I don't need you. But even if I didn't have anyone else in this world, I still have my 2 children, and they are more than enough for me. As long as they're here, I can take on any challenge life throws at me. Ah yes, the old strong, independent woman trope. Newsflash, Molly, the only reason you've had food on your table for the last several years is my Ryan's hard work. What have you done since marrying him, All you've ever been is a housewife. You can't make it on your own. I will do anything and everything that my children need me to do for them. If I need help, I can ask my parents. But I would rather die than allow either of my children to fall into your filthy, blood-stained hands. You have no right to keep them from me. As long as those 2 have my son's blood running through their veins, that makes them my grandchildren. I have just as much of a right to raise them as you. Where'd you get your legal advice from? Social media? My God, you're such a moron. You can't insult my intelligence. I've been alive for far longer than you. Trust me, I can tell from how much of your skin is sagging lately. How dare you? I am just as beautiful as I've ever been. Oh, I bet you think so. You must think that if you're attractive enough to sleep with another woman's husband, you must be hot stuff. What? What are you talking about? You know exactly what I'm talking about. No, I have no idea what you're referring to. Stop making such ridiculous, baseless accusations. Baseless? You're wrong, Angie. I've got plenty of hard evidence. It was all a parting gift from none other than your dear son. Ryan? Oh, nonsense! What evidence could he possibly have had? Come to find out, he personally saw you out on the town with a man he'd never met before. He just so happened to be across the street when the 2 of you came walking out of a hotel together. He was absolutely furious and immediately started digging into your relationship. After all, you gave me grief for being a housewife, but you're the same as me. Your husband has been working for decades to support you, and yet you have the gall to walk around with another man in broad daylight? Come to find out, what's that supposed to mean? How did you come to find out? Ryan's best friend told me. The 2 of them had been talking about what to do about you for a while, and that friend was the one who hooked Ryan up with a private detective. A private detective? You must be joking. I'm afraid not. He did a very thorough report on you. And do you know why Ryan did that? I don't know. Because he was shocked to see me, his mother, with another man? Oh, Angie, you really are clueless. If he was just upset about your affair, do you think he would hire a private detective? No, he'd simply confront you about it. Well, then why? Stop beating around the bush and tell me. He was trying to get you to stop being so cruel to me. You think he didn't know you were acting like a wicked stepmother out of a fairy tale? Not only were you berating me at every opportunity, he saw on our security camera that you were trying to get Katie to get in your car while she was playing alone in the yard, all without ever telling us. He knew there was no way you'd stop unless he got some serious dirt on you. Dirt that, if your husband found out, would get him to divorce you for sure. Then what would you do, Angie? What would you, a 30-plus-year-old housewife, do if you suddenly got booted out of your house? You'd be done for. No, I can't believe it. How could Ryan do that to his own mother? Stop acting like a victim, you dementia-addled degenerate. Anyway, I don't think I have to tell you at this point, but we know, Angie. About what? We know that the person who got into that accident with Ryan was none other than your boyfriend. Oh, that's purely coincidence. Coincidence? The one person in the world with a reason to hurt Ryan kills him in an accident, and you expect me to believe that's a coincidence? Earlier in the day Ryan died, he went to talk to your boyfriend. But you already told him Ryan was coming, didn't you? You told him that Ryan was on to you. I know this looks bad, but I swear it's all a sheer coincidence. He wouldn't do something like this intentionally. There we go, you're finally becoming a bit more honest. You were playing dumb, but I knew all along that Ryan already gave you his ultimatum. He told you he knew, could prove it, and that if you didn't want your husband to find out, to back off of me. But you don't understand. He's a married man, too. If word got out about us, it would be awful for both of our families. My husband would leave me penniless, and his wife would take him for all he's worth. That sounds like a motive to me. Anyway, we've already taken all of this to the police. The police are probably paying your boyfriend a visit as we speak. And once they check his cell phone records, you'll be next. It's only a matter of time. Please wait. I'm sorry, Molly, for everything. Please forgive me. Me? I'm not the one you should be asking for forgiveness. Ryan is. It's too bad you'll never get the chance to ask him for forgiveness yourself, because he's up in heaven right now and you're headed straight for the deepest pits of hell. As I predicted, Angie was arrested later on that same day. I heard from the arresting officer that they had to drag her kicking and screaming out of her house. And my poor father-in-law, who was at that point oblivious to everything, could only stand there in shock, mouth agape. Evidence came out that Angie had told her boyfriend to do what he knew he needed to do in order to keep their secret. They were both convicted and sentenced to spend the rest of their very short lives behind bars. As for me, I'm doing my best to focus on my family. I owe a lot to Katie. She was so strong and brave at the funeral. Roger's help was indispensable, too. Ryan was blessed with a good friend. So, while I treasure the memory of my husband in my heart, the best thing for me to do is to press forward. Fortunately for me, I am surrounded by wonderful people willing to help me do just that.